Hey everyone, welcome to Twitch Talk, the podcast that showcases up-and-coming streamers, giving them a platform of discoverability and a way for you, the viewer, to get to know them a little bit more behind the scenes. Tonight we have our guest on our next episode is Pocahotness. I've been trying my dangest to get her on here. I've been bugging her incessantly, so I'm really excited about this one. So Poca, I want to thank you for coming on. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, a little bit about yourself, the channel. Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Pocahotness. I started streaming roughly 6 months ago or so, and I started it from my living room on my recliner, just with my Xbox and a laptop next to me with not even a webcam. I was playing Overwatch, and I had been playing Overwatch relentlessly for about five to 6 years. And had always been a huge gamer before Overwatch as well, but I just got in a rut where I was playing competitive Overwatch a lot, probably borderline unhealthy amount. And I was like, well, if I'm playing this much competitive Overwatch, maybe I should just try streaming it. And being a 32-year-old mom of 3, streaming was like, it sounded so for the young people, right? Like, that's how it sounded to me, is like, oh, like the younger crowd is streaming, but I may as well just try. And I had no freaking clue how deep the rabbit hole would go for streaming, because I pretty much immediately fell in love with it and just have been barreling along with it since.
That's actually that's really it's really funny that you're like, it's for the youngins. I'm like, it's sad that we can't consider ourselves the youngins anymore.
Absolutely not. But like, that's how it seemed at first. I thought that that's pretty much what it was, like, but it's super not. Like, Jolly Jane, who's in my Discord, she's a grandmother and mom of 9 with 8 grandchildren, and she's killing it too.
So how long have you been streaming?
6 months. It's been since January. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Yep. So roughly 6 months now.
Nice. You played competitive Overwatch. That's so, like, you were like a big sweaty tryhard on there. How high'd you get in the rankings?
So sweaty. I made it to Masters.
And then I
tend to hang out in Plat though. Like, I get to Diamond, I hang out in Diamond for a bit, I go back to Plat, but I have made it to Masters.
So I feel a little emasculated. The highest I've ever gotten is gold.
No way, are you serious?
Yeah, I guess
that's crazy.
I guess I'm just garbage. I don't know, man. Oh, crap.
And I consider you a fantastic gamer too, so that's surprising.
Oh, PvP games, I'm trash.
But to be fair, I have over 3,000 hours on that game.
Oh god, I don't even know how many hours I have in it. It's ridiculous. That game's super. I haven't played it a lot recently, but like, yeah,
no.
it's ridiculous how many hours I probably have in that game.
Overwatch 2 compared to Overwatch 1 has so much crap with how they monetized everything. There's no more loot boxes. It's down to 5 players a team. Yep. Everything costs money. Like, it really went downhill in terms of you need to pay to play it right.
Right. So, but now you've kind of like swapped though. So like, you started streaming Overwatch, but then now you're more like, you are most well known for your retro gaming. You play some of the most nostalgic titles that people just fall in love with. So what made you decide to, like, yeah, exactly, your Super Mario World, your Donkey Kong. You, like, anytime someone pulls up your stream, I go into your channel a lot, and I'm like 99% sure when I pull it up, it's gonna be like Super Mario World or Donkey Kong or like something really old, nostalgic, like, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I feel like a little kid sitting here watching this. So what made the what made the swap from Overwatch competitive sweaty tryhard gaming to like now you're just gonna be the retro gamer? Like what swapped it?
It started off because I love these games. Like they're just like all over my desk, honestly. But I love these games, but honestly, my kids thought they were too hard compared to the games that are out nowadays, right? So they didn't super want to play them with me. And when I found out that people on Twitch, first when I found out that you could hook up a Super Nintendo to a PC, I was like, let's go, because I didn't know about that. And then when I found out that people actually want to see those games, I was like, this is what I do. Like, I did that before streaming too. It's just that, you know, I've beat them so many times that I was like, you know. But when I found out that other people would want to watch me play my Super Nintendo, like, it was almost like a dream come true that somebody cared that I liked to play Super Nintendo, because nobody in my house grew up playing it like I did.
So, you have a great many Super Nintendo and retro games. What would be your favorite out of all of them? Like the top of them all?
I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times, but Donkey Kong Country 2, hands down. The soundtrack, the boss levels, the gameplay of the whole thing, the animals. Diddy's Kong Quest, to me, is the hands down best Donkey Kong that there is for the Super Nintendo. And it's probably my favorite video game of all time. Like, if I had all video games that I love, that would be my favorite of all time. But I wouldn't say that I'm a retro streamer. I would say I'm a variety streamer that plays retro games, because I play loads of new stuff too.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. I've seen you play, Celeste. Currently, I know that you made your attempt at playing the Dark Pictures anthology. Hopefully, one of these days you'll be brave enough to return.
I think I will.
What's some of your more current gen like favorite titles that you play? I know you've been all about this Bramble King game that you played.
Bramble was fan-freaking-tastic. It's going to be a massive cult classic at some point. I guarantee it, because it's pretty new right now, and it's not like your average game. But that one will be like a super cult classic. But beyond that one, I played Planet of Lana. So I've been really big into story platformers. I like games that you can jam out to tunes while you play them a lot.
Right.
That's a big thing. Games that it has like it moves, or you can play it well enough that you can talk with your chat a whole bunch. There's a lot of games that you can play that it's really hard to talk with chat, like COD, or Overwatch I can play blindfolded. You know what I mean? So that one's not too bad. But things like COD, where it moves really fast and you have to pay attention the whole time, even like Fortnite, it's really hard to pay attention to chat, and that's the biggest reason that I don't play video games with people on stream. Like, some people play Fortnite with all their friends. That's a vibe. Like, that's totally a vibe. But if I can't focus on chat, it would like drive my brain crazy, because I would feel like I was ignoring them while I'm having a conversation with someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's I think one of the things that makes your stream pop off the way it does is the engagement level that you have with everybody, because like at any given time someone goes into your stream, you're gonna have music playing, sound alerts popping off every 5 seconds, you're just rattling off and talking to everybody, and just like super just energetic and talkative, and next thing you know you're singing the Tiger song, and the next thing you know you've got lava lamp costumes on, and like you just get all sorts of random crazy like hype stuff going on all over the place, and it's nonstop. So I could definitely see some of your more serious games being difficult. Like I know that there was a struggle there with the Dark Pictures whenever you started that like your chat was so used to the like nonstop hype that you were like stop.
People would jump in and just slam it down, and I'd be like, no.
Like,
Oh,
I think you had to
they're
turn
so
Mama
ready for
Pokemon
it.
on.
Sometimes it's like you know that feeling like when, and I feel the same way, but like when you get home and a dog is like you're the favorite person in the whole world. So I sign on to my stream and I'm like, guys, you're back! I'm so excited! And then I think that energy just feeds right over to the people viewing, and they're like, Poka, you're back! And it's just like this cycle of just appreciation, you know.
I absolutely love it. So I have to, ask, kind of returning back to the streaming portion of everything, like you said that you got into this whenever you were being a sweaty Overwatch player, and then you kind of went over to the retro variety gaming and stuff like that. What you've been doing this for about 6 months. What have been some of the biggest challenges that you've had going into this, like getting into the streaming environment?
For me, I think the biggest challenge that I've seen was that I've been in like certain communities, and there seems to be like baskets of communities, and every single one says, let's grow together. I grow, you grow. And this is a very common thing. Like, it's not one specific person or anything like that. It's extremely common. Mm-hmm. And there's just kind of like little baskets of communities. And the biggest thing that I've learned is don't belong to a single community ever. Like, ever, ever, ever. Because it's kind of like little walls. It actually, like, it stops your growth to just be focused on one community.
Right.
Like, if you just, like, you can join Discords and stuff like that, but if you just ditch the idea of, and the phrase of, I think it's beautiful sometimes when people are like, we're a family, but, like, that does give the unintentional implication that, like, it's us together. It's us. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in reality, it's everybody. Like, we're all solo, right? In reality, it's all just our stream.
Right.
And we're all doing the best that we can. And I just don't see it as, when you say that you're a family, I don't see it as helping. If anything, I see it actually as, like, hindering a little bit. Because you should go wherever the wind takes you, and you're going to grow 1,000 times faster when you just go wherever the wind takes you that day than you will if you hang out with a same group, just waiting for someone to grow.
I definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the biggest thing that I learned, because I too immediately was like, oh yeah, this is the best community. This is a good community. And then I found another one, and I was like, this is a fantastic community too. And I found out very fast that if you leave one, it's very frequent that it turns into kind of like high school drama. So, what's that?
I said absolute facts. Yeah,
it feels really high school cliquey. Like, no, you're in our group, or this person's a bad person. Like, and like all of that talk, throw it out the window. Know that your stream is your stream. And just drop the we need each other vibe. You know what I mean? Like, nobody needs anybody. Just do what you love and have a good time. And I think it gets a little preachy sometimes. And I would say that that's been my biggest thing, is just like, I've just learned to just stay away from things that sound preachy.
Mm. I definitely get that. I think that
because I'm all about the game, like the game and the, like, hanging out, and that's pretty much it.
I definitely see what you're saying. I think there's, like, a place for Discord communities when, like, you're just starting out. Whenever you're just starting out, when you're new, when you're trying to, like, get that affiliate hit, and you gotta, you kind of have to...
You're just finding your vibe.
Yeah, you're finding your vibe. You're kind of, like, starting your networking journey and stuff like that. I think that's kind of where these smaller Discord communities really thrive, is having those smaller streamers that are just starting out and having that platform for them to kind of kind of have a beginning burst of morale boost, I guess, so to speak, because you'll have people coming in and hitting follow and watching, and it kind of gets you used to interacting with chat, so like it has that place. But I definitely see your point of like you get to that point where you now have your people in that community that you're friendly with, but then it's like, well, you're not getting anybody new because you're not branching out. You're just staying in that little box that you're in.
Yeah. To me, the point of a Discord and the point of Discords in general is to meet streamers. But when you've met them all, move on to another one and meet more.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I mean, I'm pretty active in 2 specific ones. But like, I'm pretty active in Clutch World and Kingdom of Clowns quite a bit, but like that's because I consider them really, really good friends. Like, like Joker Dad and Clutch, both of them, I consider them really good friends. So I want to see, like, if they want their community to succeed, I'm all for helping them do that. But it's not really like a thing like on my end where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use this community to grow. Like at this point, I'm not I'm not at that point anymore. And like
that's exactly what I think it's for. Definitely it's essentially like I met this streamer and they became a really good friend. I'm joining their Discord and this is where I get to talk to them.
Yeah,
because I love that person.
Exactly.
And we're just hanging out. But then that's not then that's separate from streaming and networking, right? That's just like showing love and hanging out.
Right, and that's kind of and you kind of to return to your previous point, like that's one of those things that like I had to watch out for as well. So I mean, I like that's definitely, I'm sure a lot of the listeners who are streamers as well have noticed there are communities that they will get very upset if you join other Discord communities. They're like, no, you must be just ours, and it's like, no, that's not how we're doing this, buddy. Like, so it's one of those things like you really got to watch those pitfalls. I can definitely see a lot of small streamers that are listening definitely listening to that specifically, because it's a very common thing people fall into.
Yeah, so it's really largely it's what it comes down to. What are you looking for from a Discord? Are you looking to meet connections and make friends and like have a community in the sense of building those relationships, or are you trying to grow your channel? If you're trying to grow your channel, then you most likely will have to meet everybody in that Discord and then check out a new one or venture all over the place. You know what I mean? Kind of like just super free spirit vibes. But yeah, there's 2 different ways. It's kind of like having a group chat on Snapchat is what I would compare like the friendly vibe Discord thing to.
Yeah, I use Discord's primarily, that's the word I'm looking for, primarily as like social hour, and I love looking for collaborations. So like anytime I can like last night, me and you were on Random Game Guys Discord doing the karaoke night thing. Like I wouldn't have had that opportunity had you not messaged me and we weren't in the same Discord community. I've done collabs with Clutch on his stream doing, party games like Fall Guys and stuff like that. I wouldn't have had that opportunity, because anytime you collab with another streamer, that's more exposure for you to be out there and hanging out just as much as them having the people on their stream and communities kind of intermingling. So it's a that's the primary use that I use it for. I definitely agree with what you're saying on it hindering growth, though, if you just stay pigeonholed in ones that want to like gatekeep you.
Yeah.
So you've been pretty wildly successful in streaming, to be honest. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, I think I've told you this in your streams before. You said you've only been streaming for 6 months. I think you've probably grown faster than any small streamer I've seen in a minute. Like, you've shot from brand new in January to almost 2,000 followers, and your streams normally are never less than 30 plus people and growing on average. How do you feel about the fact that you've had such ridiculous success so quick? Like, is it overwhelming? Are you happy? Are you worried? Is there like what goes through your mind when you see how successful that you've become at this in such a short time?
I wouldn't say I don't think I think about it. I think the reason that happened is because of the amount that I meet new people, for one. Like today, I just looked up the game because I love Bramble. I just looked up the game Bramble and I checked out a streamer playing Bramble. And I got 5 follows from that community just from hanging out and talking about the game with them. So like that's essentially how I get the follows for the most part. I'll get some during streams because I tend to play games that aren't oversaturated.
Right.
For one. But I think a big part of it is just that I don't know. I don't know how it happens. I don't know how it happens. I don't have any explanation other than the fact that I put like a crap load of hours into it outside of my actual stream, like hanging out with people, because I just love it. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm trying to get those follows. I genuinely just wanted to check out Bramble today. And I'm not doing anything for follows. I'm not doing anything. When I'm streaming, I'm doing it because I genuinely have an absolute passion for video games. It's not like I want to be the best at a video game. I don't want to... I mean, the reason I play games that are not as saturated is just it's not even for the stream's sake. It's because I genuinely like new, different, and interesting games. So it kind of just came naturally. Like when I would play Overwatch before streaming, I would sit there, and if nobody was in team chat, I'd call out shots to myself. I'd be like, Reinhardt, top right. I would just call things out. So like it's almost like streaming, I did everything kind of right before I was streaming, so it fell into place when I started streaming because I love everything about it and I loved it before I was streaming. So pretty much it came down to just like figuring out my setup and doing it, and I guess I don't feel any certain way because I don't think about it. I'm just excited for what video game I'm gonna play next. You know what I mean?
Right. I definitely
I feel like you kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, my it's weird. Like, you know, this is you know, I don't want to get on my soapbox or anything. My journey in streaming has been rocky in and of itself. You know, you know, you start out with the wild notion of like, I want to be paid to play video games. I want to be a streamer. And like when you realize exactly how much work and effort and it's not as easy as just hitting the go live button, and then you realize you have to like have thought process in what you're streaming and thought process and when you're streaming and everything, and then you realize that you have to learn how to talk even when no one's there. You have to learn how to communicate with chat and yeah. It's there's just so much that goes into it that it's such a struggle that it's very heavy on your mental health whenever you start out, because you have to be willing to accept the fact that no one's going to give you the time of day for a long period until you go out there and make people give you the time of day. Yeah. And that's kind of what the networking portion of it is, and that's something that I struggled with for a while. Now I kind of take the approach that you take of like, I'm gonna play what I play, and that's just what I'm gonna play, and if people show up, cool. If not, well, all right. It's like I'll sit here and talk to myself. Yeah. It's what I do anyway. Like,
yeah, I didn't start like I didn't think I'd make any money, okay? Like, period, ever, streaming. I never thought that once in my life. And also, I started streaming solely for the fact that I was lonely. That's the only reason I started streaming. Is because I'm an introvert, and I don't like going out. I don't like parties. I don't like a lot of people. Had insecurities my whole life, and some of that stuff is just like I absolutely freaking love myself, right? There's that. But when I go into public, I just want to make everybody else's day, kind of, and it drains myself. Like, I end up being really drained after a social gathering, because I think I was just poorly socialized as a child. Like, I've never been good at social interaction my entire life. It's not like this is something that, like, was a product of anything necessarily, but I've never been good at social interaction my entire life. Yeah. And streaming was insane because I had none of that. I still, like, when I'm not surrounded by, like, physical people, I don't get drained. I have more energy. I love it. I'm full of life. So, like, that was the only reason I started with streaming, was because I was lonely. So when 2 people come into my chat, I'm like, you guys wanted to watch me play Donkey Kong? You know, or you guys wanted to watch me play some Overwatch? Like, friggin' thank you. That's amazing. It's incredible, and I'm so blessed to live in a freaking day and age where that's a possibility to socialize that way.
That, you know, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why you have such a following that you've managed to get, is the fact that you are absolute, like, I say this all the time, you are probably one of the most genuine streamers that is in the circle of streamers that I talk to, because everything that you say, you absolutely 100% mean, and I 100% don't doubt that, like, if you were sitting there playing some fringe game and had 2 viewers, you'd still be sitting there having just as much of a blast. And that's absolutely, I think, why people come in, because they know that, like, you are genuinely there and happy to just chill and talk and hang out. And I definitely get the whole thing of the social interaction. I do the same thing on my channel with the singing and the dancing and the silly stupid crap that I do. You would never catch me doing that stuff if I was at a bar. Like,
exactly.
Ever.
It's wild. It's freedom. Like, your stream is, it's a place where you can be completely unveiled you, and the people who appreciate it are the ones that are going to come in and stick around, so you don't have to be afraid to be not you. You know what I mean? Like, when you go to a social gathering, those people are kind of stuck around you. They can't just, like, leave the chat, right?
Right.
Like, they're stuck there, whether they like you or not. But when it comes to Twitch, I can be authentically me today, and the people who vibe with it can come and hang out, and the people who don't vibe with that can go. There's so many social interactions where, like, I'm stuck around people that I really don't vibe with. And I have, like, I'm, like, on the spectrum of autism to a point, and I cannot be fake. So it is hard as hell for me to be around someone that I don't like and literally hold back being like, I don't like you. Like, literally. Like, I can't. And, like, you have to do that. You have to mask like that so much for social standards. And I have a very difficult time doing that. It stresses me the hell out. If someone's just being rude or mean, I don't like forcing myself to be around it. You know what I mean?
I don't know how I'd react if you just randomly looked over at me and was just like, I don't like you. Go
don't
away.
Like you. I've never done that. I've never done that. Usually I just end up, like, internally very stressed and exhausted, and that's pretty much it, because there are social norms that you have to abide by.
Right.
But the older I get, the less I feel like abiding to those social norms.
Well, that's kind of the perk of getting older, you know. One of these days
Yeah.
we're gonna be like old and crotchety with our walkers, and we'll get to say whatever we want and get away with it because it's gonna be like, oh, they're old and senile. We don't care.
Yeah, you're just over it. Like, I'm just over it. I'm so over it. And that's, yeah. So, yeah, streaming's the shit. It's the shit.
So we talked about your favorite games and stuff. You know, you've been streaming for 6 months. You've had a lot of fun times. You know, I know you've had a couple of 12-hour streams. You dressed up like Princess Peach one time. You dress up like a lava lamp pretty regularly. You know, out of all of the moments that you have, can you think of one instance in your time streaming that is like, this is your pinnacle favorite streaming moment, like right here, this is my favorite moment, like this is, or at least one that comes to mind, like this right here, this was the happiest I've ever been streaming, or my most favorite instance?
That is so difficult. That's so hard. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, so I started playing Bramble, right? This is why Bramble is so special to me. For anybody that doesn't know, it's called Bramble the Mountain King. Highly recommend. So I started Bramble one night at like 7:30 p.m. and I was determined. Like, I started it and I started getting into it, and then before you know it, I was like, oh my god, like I am involved in this game. I am captivated by this game. This game has my shirt and it like is in my face, like, you need to get through this. Like, I felt it, and I could not stop playing it. I ended up staying up until 2 a.m.
Oh my god.
Because this game was roughly a 5, 6, 7 hour game. And I ended up needing to finish it. Normally I only stream like 4 hours tops at a time for the most part. It's like usually about 4 hours. And I needed to finish it. And it was such a freaking roller coaster. And I want to say, like, there were lurkers for days in the stream, but there was 2 people specifically that stayed up until 2 a.m. with me the entire stream because they needed to know what happened too, and they were watching me stress the hell out. Like, what's happening? Like, what is going on? Oh my god! Like, I was so... It was just so fun, is really what it came down to. It was so freaking fun. And they hung out with me. It was Deidre and Furion, and they hung out with me until 2 in the morning, and we beat the game, and like we went on this massive roller coaster of an adventure with each other. And when the credits rolled, when it like at the end it was like Bramble, right? Because sometimes at the end the name of the game pops up on the screen. It's this big cinematic moment, and then the credits started rolling, and we just freaking lost it. We were just like, whoa, you know, like freaking out, absolutely freaking out.
Awesome.
At 2 in the morning, and I, like, you know, crawl to my bed and and lay in the bed after the game, and I just laid there and I was like, that was so epic. It's kind of like, have you beaten Final Fantasy 16?
Not yet. I'm hoping to beat that in the next stream, which will hopefully be tomorrow. Like, we're getting close.
Imagine if that, just pretend like in a weird world that game, say you played it from beginning to end in 1 day.
Oh dear god.
Like, pretend it's like a 10-hour game, right?
Right.
But the emotional roller coaster that you just went on, and like, if you had some viewers who stuck in there, focused on the game the entire time from beginning to end with you, and you guys just all went on an adventure together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely get that. That's amazing. Like, that's yeah, that would be amazing. I've never had that specific happen, so that would be really cool.
It's not something that happens often. It is not something that happens often, or has happened often to me, but that was the most magical day. like oh yeah, just like a couple friends, and they were there from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. And it's an emotional roller coaster of a game, but it is so freaking good. The ending is superb. The boss fights are hard, but like the perfect amount of difficulty. Like that was hands down the best time.
The more you talk about this game, the more I'm like, all right, I may have to check this out.
You absolutely will. And I guarantee you, Ryder, I will be there for you. Like, while you play it, I will be there from freaking beginning to end. It's so good.
Well, I'll have to check it. Is it on PC or what is it on?
Right now, I know it's on Xbox Game Pass, but it is also on Steam.
Okay. I'll have to look. Maybe it'll be a PC game that we try to do, and I'm gonna maybe I'll play it on one of my 12-hour binges or something.
Yeah. And then when you get to the end, you'll have to tell me if you think that my reaction was warranted or was not.
Absolutely. That sounds I'll have to check it out. I'd never heard about the game until you brought it up. So like I didn't know
the way I feel about Bramble is how you feel about Celeste.
Oh, okay, all right. So amazing game all around. Got it.
Are you there?
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I guess
okay.
my thingy didn't pick up my mic. Yeah, no, so basically just amazing game, got it.
Yes, yeah. Fantastic.
So, kind of returning into the streaming circle, you said you got into streaming, you were sweaty tryhard and Overwatch and everything. You went into streaming. Did you watch streamers before you started streaming? Like, were you already enveloped in the Twitch community? Did you watch anybody?
I'd never watched a stream in my life.
So you just one day just decided, like, you know what, we're gonna stream.
I just hit start streaming. Yeah, that's it.
Do you now that you've been doing streaming for about 6 months now, do you have any like? I'm always careful about this question, but do you have any inspirations? Anybody, any other streamers you kind of draw inspiration from? Ones that you follow or you watch, or you're like, hey, this individual, like I almost like take inspiration from the things that they do. Like I always use myself as an example. I'll say, I will follow a streamer called Asmongold. A lot of people know him. And a lot of my mannerisms, the way that I act and the way that I talk and everything, I try and be super genuine and down to earth and real, because that's how he was, and he was one of my big inspirations. So, like, do you have anybody like that in the 6 months that you've been streaming that you have that from?
Oh my gosh. I would say, I don't know if there's, I can't think of like, I'd have to like, go probably to my Twitch and like look at people and be like this, because so many streamers at this point, right? But I would say any streamer that is there really to like critique or talk about the video game, that those streamers are my favorite. Like how you play Final Fantasy and you're like, how gorgeous this is, and you get into the story, and like, sure, there's breaks where you're having fun and hanging out with chat and stuff like that, but anybody who really has a passion for games, those are my heroes, because they're like me, and I didn't find people that felt that way about video games until I was freaking 32. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, to find other people like you who really have like a deep passion for games, like legit, these guys were practically my childhood friends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Actually.
Yeah.
So anybody that's really there for the video game, they're my homies. Like they're my freaking bless up. I see you. I don't know. It's a passion, right? Like it's such a passion.
Absolutely. I'll catch myself so enamored in a game that I'm streaming that I'll actually forget entirely about chat even being there, and I'll be like, oh, right, I gotta talk to you guys, right? Yeah, like,
yep.
like that's a thing. Like I have to talk to you guys now. That's a thing that I have to do. I can't just sit here
because you just you're enamored. You're just like, oh. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
such an experience. It's a thrill, and I think it definitely happens frequently. So I guess people who their emotions get tied to the video games are the ones that I really love.
So tell me, what's like, not to swap gears immediately, I haven't brought this up yet because honestly, I just like, I've been saving it because it's my favorite thing that I want to talk about. Your
Okay.
entire setup in your room is
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest vibes that everybody loves. Was this like set up already, or did you like, we're gonna decorate this and deck this out? Like the lava lamps, the posters, the big lips in the back, like where did all of this crazy amazing hype come from that you had? Like have you, are you a decorator, or do you like, are you just that hyped up? Like what is the all of that you got?
I'm just sensitive. So
What?
I'm just sensitive. So like, if I'm gonna be down here, I want it to be my ultimate happy place. Which comes along with like kind of like a feng shui of the vibe, right? Like I want it to be like, you guys, that side of the room is like, there's a like what is it, like a coffee table, and it's just loaded with shit from the stream. Like it's just loaded with the stuff. Like Dove chocolate bags, and there's a broken lava lamp over there. Not broken, but the light bulb is burnt out. So there's a box from like the lighting thing that I had to get so people could see me better or whatever. Like I mean, it's messy in here too. But as far as this stuff, like, I don't know, I guess like I put what I love into every single facet that I possibly can of the stream. So like the camera, I put things I love there. The sound alerts, I put things I love there. It's just it's like the ultimate happy place for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any facet of the stream that I can cram a little more polka into, like I do.
I love it. I wish that I had, like, I got a green screen specifically because my background was garbage. Like I was like, your background, it's like, you don't need a green screen. Your whole background is your green screen. Like it's ridiculous.
I know, but your green screen looks sick. That changed so, like, it sick. Like you look so fantastic without a background, especially.
Well, yeah, that's because you can't see my messy clothes in the background of my unmade bed.
No, like I don't even think that was that bad, but like it's crazy. Like people who use green screens, wild how good that looks. 11th Realm uses one too.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah, 11th is actually the one that got me the green, or showed me the green screen that she used, and that's the one that I picked up. Although me and this green screen fight quite a bit, like it angers me. Like I have a whole problem with this thing. I cuss this thing out daily, but it is what it is. But no, I mean, I just like your whole disco lights and the lava lamps, and the fact that all your lava lamps have names, and.
Yeah.
And your big Mercy figurine, and like, it's just, I'm there for all of it. I think it's great. It's amazing. Yeah, that your little 8-ball thing. You got you know, I know in the corner somewhere you got your lava lamp cosplay.
I have my special shiny cup.
I didn't know you had a special shiny cup. That's news to me.
It's so shiny. It's pearlescent, and it's a Yeti. Or is it a Yeti? It says green steel, but it's called the Beast.
The Beast.
It's huge.
So, you know, we had a lovely experience last night in Random's stream where we got to meet your significant other.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know that was a big deal, you know, because nobody had ever seen him on stream before. How did he feel about you getting into streaming? Was he super supportive of it? Was he a little apprehensive about it? Like, how's his feelings towards it? Like, or getting started now, like, what does he think of all of it?
I think it was just a shock because so much happens so fast. Because when I love something, which is very frequently like an autistic situation, right? Sometimes if an autistic person likes something, they don't like it a little bit. They don't like it a medium bit. They don't like it a lot. They obsess.
Right.
Okay. So I do that 1,000 times, hands down. When I was in 5th grade, I read an entire dog encyclopedia, like, and memorized every breed of dog plus their characteristics in every sense of the fashion. Like, what were they bred for? What, like I obsess. But it's not necessarily in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like, it can be a really great thing. There's different writers and stuff that obsess over things too, or like there's people who are really freaking good in a field sometimes. You know, people love dinosaurs and then they become like the best paleontologist ever or something like that.
Right.
So I don't think it's in a bad way whatsoever, but he was like, holy hell, like it was like a whirlwind just came swooping through, and that was streaming for me. Above anything else, he was super happy for me because he just saw me just glowing in a way that was wild, with how freaking happy I was. So above anything else, like that was the that was the most important thing. But it also it can be an extremely time-consuming hobby. So there was, of course, points where you had to find balance. So like in the winter, I was streaming almost every night. And now in the summer, I'm streaming 1 to 2 times a week, but that's only 3 months. And then I'm going to be back at it, like, hellbent once the kids go back to school, basically. Because life is just easier when the kids are back at school, but with them being home full-time, there are certain priorities that take place over other ones. And that was the number one thing to remember, because he loves that I love streaming, but when it comes down to it, it's not his thing. It's not like he enjoys it. You know what I mean? There are streams that there are streams that he likes watching, and there's cool people that he's met through me streaming, but for the most part, it's just not his thing. So it's that I try my best to not talk about it too much to him or the family, to not go overboard with talking about it, because it's not their thing.
Right.
Like, they don't tell me every facet about their obsession, you know what I mean?
Right. I get
Constantly, yeah. So, like, I make sure to limit how much I try to, basically, the way that they see it is I'm going to work or I'm doing my hobby. And there's a healthy amount for them to know that they still are my top priority, and you do have to constantly have that on the forefront.
Right. And yeah, I get that. I think that's something that a lot of people who get into streaming struggle with. I myself struggle with that as well. You know, I've said it before on my stream. I do my best not to stream when the wife's home, because like, if she's home, I want to be able to be there if she wants me to go do this, or she needs me to go do that, or whatever. Like, I may be in my room doing my thing, playing my game, whatever, but if she can be like, hey, I need you to go and help me with this, or hey, you want to come, you know, watch a movie, spend time with me, whatever, and then I can immediately get up and go. But if I'm streaming, she knows that, like right now when we're doing this, she knows, hey, I am busy for the next approximate hour, leave me alone. Like, and she knows that. So it's like, there at the beginning, I did the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna stream, 4 to 5 times a week for this many hours, and I'm gonna this is how we're gonna do it, because this is how you grow. This is how everybody says you grow. And it's like, and it's
fun.
Yeah,
it's super fun. So it's easy to do.
Yeah, it's very easy to fall into that. So I definitely get that.
Yep.
So I know it's not his thing, but have you two discussed having any kind of a collab stream? Like, you know, we have Let's Be Frank and his wife come on and do like the Dark Picture stuff and the collaboration, like co-op games, things like that.
I'm thinking I might be able to get him to come onto the stream to help me finish Dark Pictures Anthology.
Ooh, okay.
Because I want to finish that game, but that game is the scariest thing I've ever experienced in as far as video games. I'm definitely, if there's one thing I'm not, it's definitely a horror streamer. I give people a lot of credit to be able to do that and then go to bed after. But I think that he would come on to help me finish that game because I do not like games left unfinished. I mean, I'll skip around and I'll play one game one day, one game another day. I'll leave them unfinished, but at some point in time they will get finished. So I don't want to just give up on it completely. So yeah, he'll probably come on for that one.
So what you're saying is if I ever do actually redeem Dark Souls, you will beat Dark Souls.
I think so. I've heard that it's I've seen you play it. The one thing about Dark Souls is it seems like it doesn't look super interesting.
Oh no, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's not a game for like the storytelling purposes. It's a game for that game is all about overcoming the challenges. Like you have your character, you create your character, you build your character, and it's all about survival. You have now met this big gigantic boss. Beat the boss. Get good, scrub. Like that's the whole thing. And it's like it's super frustrating. You get super angry, you get super salty at the game, but then whenever you finally beat the game, it's like Hollow Knight. You know, you've played Hollow Knight. You have the bosses in Hollow Knight where you're getting your face rocked.
Hollow Knight is extremely interesting in terms of the graphic style and the story.
I'll give you that. I will, and there is a story in Dark Souls.
Is it's very like it's like Diablo in the sense of like it's the same. It's just some. There's a skill tree and there's button mashing.
Oh, I would not recommend you consider Dark Souls button mashing. I'll tell you that much. You'll die.
Oh, I know, yeah, but it's essentially combos, I guess you could say. So it's a skill tree and combos, and then just repeat.
Right. It's an acquired taste. The playthrough you saw me do, that was my first time ever playing Dark Souls. So
yeah, you're screaming like a little girl.
That's
the whole thing.
Sometimes that's like by design because I know Chet gets a kick out of it, and sometimes it's literally my reaction.
It's funny. It's definitely good.
Yeah, no, most of the most of my little, can I do it my like where I'll scream bloody murder and run, and like sometimes that's by design because I know Chad will get a kick out of it. Other times it's literally like I'll do that sitting in my room, no stream going at all, and I'll just go fight shit, oh, get away.
My kids will hear it sometimes, and then they look at me, and I'm like, it's Ryder, and then they go, oh, okay. You're known in the house.
The household now knows me. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Jesus criminy, I love the fact I'm sure they hear all the other vulgar things I say too. Oh good Lord.
I try. There are certain times when I turn it down. Whatever.
I need to have one of those audio files that like say viewer discretion is advised or whatever pop up before.
Most definitely.
That'd be great. That's actually the complete opposite of your stream. Actually, your stream is very wholesome. Like hearing you swear in your stream is like a rare commodity. You actually made a channel point redemption around it now because people want to see the well-behaved Polka be naughty for a change, and it's really fun whenever you do it. But
if I play COD, it'll be a whole different story.
COD
is absolutely my rage swearing game.
You're that one who's like, oh fucking bullshit, man.
Yes.
I love it. I know the first time that I heard you drop an F-bomb on your stream, I was like, oh, Polka.
Yeah, it's just not like I don't like swear naturally like a whole bunch in sentences, but like if I'm genuinely pissed off, it will come out. But otherwise, it's not like, if you hear me swear, it almost sounds unnatural if I force it in any way, shape, or form.
Right. No, I get that. And I think, honestly, if I've had people say that they don't like the vulgarity in a lot of streams. So, like, honestly, it's probably something I need to work on, to be honest. But my chat kind of encourages it. So I blame them. I'm going to blame them. But
it's true.
It's 100% on it's their fault. But anyway, no, like, I absolutely love the whole vibe you have going. We're closing out on the end of the interview here, but I gotta ask. I ask everybody this question every single time. You know, I said this before. You know, I will continue singing your praises. 6 months in, almost 2,000 followers. I would not doubt if you continued on the upward slope the upward climb that you've been doing. I would not doubt that by this time next year you were partner, because of the success that you have shown, and the fact that you are a genuine individual on stream, and you are super friendly with everybody, and you have, it's almost as if you have naturally been given some like brain formula to figure out how to do this very, very well. And that's
how I feel about it too. But like, I gotta say, this is the first thing I've ever had that in my entire life. You know, like, so, like, I'm really grateful for it, because I was a nursing assistant, and I'm really good at everything that I do. It's just that I haven't loved everything I've done, you know? So the fact that, like, this had every facet of things that I love, for sure. Other things just did not. Being a nursing assistant wrecked my body. And I had to be a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, because daycare for 2 kids would just cancel out anything that I made anyway.
Facts. I know.
So like, I essentially, the best option was for me just to stay home, and then like and just like live frugally, because what's the point in me going to work and my kid's going to get watched by somebody else if the money just cancels out? So it's been a lonely ride. So for me to come into something that I love so much, this really has been a crazy light at the end of a tunnel.
Well, I think that it's literally, I've said this before to you. I'm super jealous of how ridiculously good you are at this. It's crazy. So I ask every single person that has came on Twitch Talk, I've asked them this question, and I'm very interested to see what you have to say. If you had someone come to you, either new or struggling small streamer, what would be the number one advice that you would give someone who is either just starting out streaming or is struggling to move up or struggling to grow and make a following? What would be like, what is the main thing that you would say is your top advice you would give, that
I would say
you would give?
Never stop bringing it back to exactly what you want it to be. What do you want to be as a streamer? And then pump it into the content. Pump it right into the content, because there is such, like, you have all the tools. You can get all the tools to pump everything you love into your content, and then do that, you know? Just pump it all like straight into the content, dude. If work on making it what I don't care if you don't want a face cam, fantastic, then work on other stuff. Or if you don't want sound alerts, fantastic, work on other stuff. But in the end, this also won't be for everybody. Because I've failed at 1,000 other tasks, right? Where other people succeeded. I've failed at 1,000 other jobs that other people were freaking great at, and I didn't know how they did it. And it turns out that those weren't for me. So streaming will not be for everybody. You know, not everybody can just do everything naturally. Otherwise, I would have been a painter. I would have been an artist before this. I would have been owned, you know, like a super cool dog training course, or like all these other things that I have tried to do in the past, but they weren't for me. So know when to cut your losses. Don't get so obsessed with it that you think like this is it, or you're still grinding. Know when to cut your losses, because that's something that I will always remember too, from other things, is you got to know when it's just not working.
Right.
And I'm not saying give up. I'm saying that sometimes there's something even better for other people out there. Like, I think that this can be extremely addictive, from what I found about streaming. And if you're not having fun anymore, take a damn break, right? I've had to take breaks from it too. Follow your heart with it. If your heart at some point in time is like, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, fuck it. You can do something else. Don't think you're a failure. There's something better for everybody out there. This just like, so people say like, oh, Polka, you're so blah, 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 blah. But like, this just happened to be a great freaking fit for me. And it's a great fit for some people. And for some people, there's something even better out there for you. I don't like it when people are streaming and they get really down on themselves and they start thinking that it's about their own self-worth.
Right.
Because it's not.
I 100% get that. Earlier I had alluded to mental health being a big proponent of starting out in streaming, and that is something that I think goes through a lot of small streamers' heads, is why won't people come watch me? Is it me? Am I the problem? Like,
absolutely
and
not.
That is 100% what a lot of people will fall into, is it because of me? Am I not
sometimes it will be because of them, because they may not just be cut out for streaming, just like I wasn't cut out for the army. You know what I mean?
There you go.
like sometimes it's just not your thing. And that is so okay, but that has nothing to do with your self-worth as a human. Right. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like, not everybody can be a streamer. Or maybe they should stream something not video games, you know, like maybe they really love art, or maybe they love baking, or maybe they love singing, or maybe they love to whittle. People freaking whittle sticks and wood all the time on stream, you know? So like, explore your options. Don't think that like this is the only way to do it, because there's so many ways to do it. Like, I do the streaming thing different than a whole bunch of people. And the other people are successful with theirs, and it's completely different than mine, right? You have to find your own niche. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. If I'm not partner, if my views go down, whatever, blah, 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 I'm just having fun. I didn't do it to be partner. I didn't do it with any end goal in mind whatsoever. I have no end goal. I'm just showing up to play a video game on a Tuesday. That's it. That's
I absolutely love you. I can't get over it. The vibe is good. Like, I absolutely love everything that you're saying right now. It's like it brings a whole smile to my face, just the fact that you're just like, I'm just here to play a freaking game, dude. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I freaking love gaming. That's it. Like, the growth thing and the grind of it, I feel like, is so overrated. Because it's gonna happen or it's not.
You take such a relaxed, laid back stance on streaming, and I think that might attribute a lot to the whole community that you've managed to build. I think it's great. Like, I wish you nothing but the best. I think I think that it speaks volumes that what you're doing works, and the way you're approaching it is working, and it's better for your mental health. It's better all around. By mental health, your success in streaming in and of itself, because they say it all the time, the if you don't love what you're doing, your viewers aren't going to love what you're doing. If you're not having fun, then your viewers not going to have fun.
If you're worried about your numbers whatsoever, that's telling those 5 people in chat that they're not good enough.
Right. I get that. Yep.
And to me, that's bullshit. Like, screw that. Screw the numbers thing. 5 people showed up to watch your stream. Drop the grind. Drop the freaking growth. Because that's saying that you're not good where you're at. You're not content where you're at. Be content with where you're at, and whether it happens or not, it's gonna happen, but like stressing about it isn't gonna make it happen faster.
Words to live by. Now, Poca, I appreciate everything that you've said here. I think that you've given listeners a lot to absorb. That's one of the reasons why I was really adamant that one of these days I was going to get you on here, because I was like I said, I've been, from the word go, I've been 100% like Poca fan all the way. Like, this stream, like, if I see you on, 99% of the time I'm popping in there to spam a sound alert, YOLO all over the chat, troll the hell out of you and chat, and be
got blurb. I just added like 10 sound alerts.
Oh my god. See, now I'm gonna have to come into your stream whenever you're live again, and I'm gonna have to harass your stream with all these different sound alerts.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I love everything that you're doing. I like, you just keep it up. I think that you're gonna have a lot of success. But I do want to thank you for coming on and doing this. I know that it's not 100% your vibe to do interviews, so I really do appreciate you coming on and doing this and everything like that. Is there any last minute things you want to add before we wrap this up?
Probably just thanks for being so awesome. Like, you're really awesome. It's been a lot of talking me up, but like, you are such a vibe yourself. And that's one of the reasons that I love going into your stream so much. And like, whether I'm talking or not, like, sometimes I'll hype up your chat and stuff like that too. But ultimately, what I go to your stream for is the fact that you are genuinely in love with gaming as well. And I think that you also could be huge, because I can see the love for it in you as well. Well, so like, I just appreciate like your existence with streaming too, because you're one of those people, like when I said that the people I look up to are the people who love gaming, like, you're clearly one of those people, so you would easily be a streamer that I look up to.
Well, now you're gonna make me all blush. See, I said this, I can't give me an ego. You can't do that. No, I appreciate that. I don't I don't respond well to compliments, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't either.
I'm one of those people that I'll turn into Goofy and just be, oh shucks, guys. But no, I appreciate the kind words. I'm glad that you enjoy coming in. Every time you come in, it's always a blast. I always have the same people that come in whenever it's you and 11th and Frank and Deirdre and everybody come in. And next thing you know, chat's just popping off with some of the most random things. Leonessa, I almost called her Mrs. Lockett, but Leonessa comes
Mr.
in.
Venjock.
Yeah, Mr. Venjock comes in and just alien vibes all over the chat.
Yeah, and then you have oh my god.
Joker Dad comes in and plays the Wiener song all the time.
There's the guy that's, I think it starts with N. Can't think of what it is. But it's a homie of yours.
And
it's like the ones that aren't part of the kingdom. There's like the couple that are just like vibe with you every time.
Gosh, I'm sure and they vibe with me every time. They're gonna yell at me next time. They're gonna be like, "What the heck?"
I'll point him out next time I'm in your chat. I'm gonna be like, Ryder, that's the person that I couldn't think of.
The only thing I could think of is Rex. Rex comes in a lot, and just came in, but I don't know. I have a lot of like random people. Like every time that you come in, like you're always bringing the hype, and you're always like if chat's dead, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be like, hi emotes, just randomly out of nowhere, just to be like, hey, I'm still here, we're gonna hype this up. So like I really do appreciate that. I think it's I think that's one of the really cool things that gets people to gravitate over to your stream a lot, is the fact that you go in and you do show genuine support. You're not just there to, like you said, follow for follow, things like that. You're not there for that.
There for the game.
Yeah, you're there. Yeah, you're there to just be like, this is awesome.
What are we playing? This game sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One of these days, I'm sure you'll jump in. You'll have me sitting there gonna be like, this game sucks. Why am I playing this?
To me, that's just Fortnite. I cannot do Fortnite. I have nothing against people who do Fortnite, but like, I just can't. I tried and I can't. I don't know.
Joker Dad and Clutch keep trying to get me in there. I've played like 2 games with them on their stream, and I'm like, I just can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. It's just too much. I can't do the
Nothing against it. Not my style, dude.
But
okay, yes, it's been fun.
It has been a blast. It has been a blast. Guys, make sure you guys follow Pokahotness. Her link is on the screen at the bottom. Okay. Her link's going to be in the description as well. Make sure you go and you follow her and check her out. You will not regret it. I guarantee it. But again, guys, thanks again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And I will see you guys in the next one. Signing off. Peace out.